Good morning everyone. This morning we are going to be reviewing this really cool new gadget called the Prismo. And it's made by a company called Fellow, and it's being distributed in South Africa by the team from More Flavor, who have brought us amazing coffee brewing devices such as the AeroPress, the Rhino hand grinder and the Porlix grinder, the Brewista range, basically all the cool stuff that we love to make coffee with on the go. And it's a beautiful day down here on the KZN South Coast, and we're going to put this Prismo through its paces. Now, on first inspection, the most noticeable difference from a normal AeroPress screen is that it's much finer, as you can see here, than the regular Able filter that normally comes as an accessory to the AeroPress. And the other thing that's very different and obvious is that you can see that there's multiple holes on this traditional AeroPress cap, and on this one there's just a tiny one-way valve, which means that under pressure, when we extract it, all of that water is going to be forced through just that one hole. So with a much smaller screen size, we can go with a much finer grind as opposed to the regular AeroPress. But I think let's let the coffee speak for itself. We're going to brew both of them and we're going to see how they taste. So today I'm using a really delicious Finca San Jose from Has Been, and we're going to brew the Prismo with 50 grams of water with the Prismo on top and obviously the Fellow filter inside, and then we're going to brew just a regular standard AeroPress with the same coffee at the same grind, and we're going to taste the different flavors and see how that tastes. The thing that you do is you just pop the Fellow filter into the Prismo and you screw it on like you would the regular thing. Now the nice thing about this is because of the one-way valve, we can actually brew it as a full immersion method as opposed to the more common inverted method of a regular AeroPress. And what I'm going to do is I don't need to weigh or measure anything, because I'm literally just going to take one scoop, which comes with the AeroPress, the normal standard measurement, and I'm just going to pop it in. And then from our past experiences with AeroPress, we know that each number on the AeroPress itself is 50 grams, and we're going to do the recommended method, which is to the top of the number is 50 grams of water. Give it a little stir with the AeroPress scoop. Take our plunger and force all of that, the air to force the coffee and the water through Prismo, and we should get a really nice crema on top. More of an espresso extraction. Wow, that's really good. So on first impressions, to me, it really highlights some of the aspects of this coffee. This coffee in particular is really sweet and delicious, and it tastes a little bit more like you would expect an espresso to taste, rather than the traditional AeroPress method, which will obviously give you 200 mils of coffee, and probably, you know, like always with a beautiful smooth round flavor, but this is particularly highlighting the sweetness of this coffee for me. I've got the regular AeroPress using the inverted method, and I've used the same amount of coffee, same grind, just if you look at the numbers, 200 grams of water, and we're using the traditional AeroPress method. So that's been sitting for about 30 seconds or so. I'm just going to turn it over and plunge. So very balanced, very smooth, but definitely not as concentrated as you would expect, and also it doesn't have that very noticeable sweetness, but still a really delicious coffee. So it's really interesting to taste the difference between these the devices and the attachment that the Prismo brings, and I think it really, for me, just brings another dimension to the coffee that you're brewing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking this with me on the next couple surf trips.